Right, let's get reaction to the story. We're joined by SADTU's General Secretary, Mugwena Maluleke. Mugwena, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So how did day one go with primary school pupils, all of them, being back?
Good evening, Sean, and good evening to your viewers at home, and thank you for the question. It didn't go as planned because the Department of Education on Saturday, when we met with them, they have indicated that they were ready in terms of everything, despite the fact that on Friday and Thursday we have made submission asking them really to allow some other provinces to extend this particular date of the 2nd in order to allow them to really deal with the issue of 1 meter social distance in the classroom. However, they didn't agree because they were having all the greens in terms of ticking the boxes. So we're quite depressed because we have seen scenes that are really shocking in Gauteng and Mpumalanga and other areas where learners had to be turned back in KwaZulu-Natal because they couldn't comply with the social distances. And that in itself can have serious detrimental effect to our children because they were quite excited that they are coming back to see their friends and therefore they were going to be taught at the same time. So yeah, we're quite disappointed because we had hoped that the department has done its homework. We can be talking about space now because by the 26th we were told that they will be talking to the churches, they will be talking to other institutions to provide them with the extra space for social distance.
Yeah, it's also quite sad because we know that the education minister was out here telling South Africans a good couple of weeks ago that all primary school children will go back to school. So what is the department saying about your concerns regarding social distancing? And do you have any idea how long it's going to take for them to get this right?
Well, if they couldn't get it right from January and from last year, they knew that this time is coming, that we are doubtful whether they'll be able to get it right now. Gauteng Department of Education was very honest and said that they may not be able to have the mobile classes because of their, they don't have the money for that. And therefore, it is up to all of us now in the education sector to then begin to talk to the Department of Finance to ensure that there is an education relief. This, if you could remember very well, has been our call last year to say that we need to improve the space, we need to improve the infrastructure in order to ensure that the poor of the poorest should not miss out on education because they don't have online, they don't have the gadgets, and they don't have the classroom that will be able to accommodate them. So we are very quite worried that there's nothing that really in the next 2-3 weeks that can be done to making sure that mobile classes are in our schoolyard unless the government at the central level pass an appropriation bill, which is very much necessary, which we need because we need to make sure that these learners do not miss out on education. We are facing a possibility of a generational catastrophe here with learners not having acquired the necessary skills and competences for them to be able to be progressed to the next grades.
Yeah, absolutely. You are right about that concern. So outside of the social distancing, which is, of course, number one when it comes to the problems, what else are you seeing that's a concern for you?
Well, the other things that we're concerned is that a number of schools reported that they didn't have water. And of course, the department had indicated that they have spoken to the municipalities so that they can provide water. But today, in KZN and in the Northern Cape and the Eastern Cape, we have received reports that there was no water. The other things that we have seen, really, which we're not supposed to be experiencing now, we know we're experiencing is that you cannot have a situation where you still have learners who do not have masks as they come to school because these they have said they are replenishing for the next semester and not for now because the learners do have everything that they have, but we have seen those particular scenes and it is not really good what we have seen. We just hope that the department can then begin to be very honest with all of us because we're not there to really police them or to criticize them, but we were there as partners to ensure that we hold each other's hand. This is the time for solidarity. This is the time for showing kindness and making sure that our learners are able to really receive the education that they deserve, which is quality education. So the other things that really is late delivery of the ablution system, which they call chemical toilets, that they knew that when the learners are coming in big numbers, it is going to be a challenge, and that should be addressed, because that's not an impossible thing. It can be addressed now.
So as things stand, Mugwena, is it safe, do you reckon, for all of these children to be back in the classroom?
We don't think that it will be a very wise decision. The schools must devise some other means of making sure that the social distance is adhered to, because you don't want the schools to become the super spreaders. So it's regrettable, I must say, that it will really traumatize these learners to tell them that, no, look, you're not going to come, all of you. But it has happened already. They've been told that they must go back home because of social distance. So it must be a lesson to the department that they should have given these particular directions a long time ago, to making sure that those schools that were not going to be able to comply with the social distances should have applied for deviation. Only yesterday, on the 1st, schools started receiving this direction, and already the parents were not aware that their learners should not be, the children must not go to school because of the deviation. And only schools will start applying for deviation by today and tomorrow. We don't know when they will really approve that the school can deviate. But the school have decided now, majority of the schools that cannot comply have sent the learners back, and they've gone back to the rotational timetable.
Yeah, that's, it's quite shocking, to say the least. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. And, of course, I am going to try and speak to the Education Department tomorrow. We'll try and speak to the Minister or the Deputy or the DG. They're never available, so hopefully we'll get some luck tomorrow.